Welcome back to another episode of Rail Industry Connected. I'm Dan Clark, and thank you for joining us. We always say that people on the railways are the key to the success of a project being completely safe and on time. But having the right tools and equipment to deliver success is hugely essential. So many fall downs and incidents on the line can be down to the equipment not being right and can contribute towards a downfall in safety overall. Today, we spoke to Byron Summers from the Railway Shop, who is providing and developing railway tools and equipment specifically with these people in mind. Byron, who himself comes from an engineering background with Network Rail, set up business by railway people for railway people to support the industry better. Focusing on a path of innovation and developing significantly as an SME, Byron is developing his business from a rail engineer's point of view to provide a straight to the point service which ultimately aims to keep the railway safer. Byron, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Morning, Dan. Thank you.
Morning. So an introduction to Railway Shop, if you will. What's it about and how did it come to fruition?
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. So the Railway Shop was effectively born on Company's House 2015. It actually has its 10th birthday next month, which we're looking forward to. I myself, I think I'm 13 years deep in the railway industry. Went to college, got A-levels, chemistry, biology, geography. But I actually had intentions of being a marine biologist.
Right,
originally.
okay.
Yeah,
Bit different.
a little bit different, yeah. But I guess the railwayman in my blood was calling. 17-year-old. I turned to my father, who he's been on the railway 46 years now.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And I said to him, I think I want to go to work. And he sort of like looked at a few opportunities. And I actually got on the railway as a site access controller.
Right.
Fresh 17-year-old. And funnily enough, I was guided by my older brother, who was on the railway as well. So you could say it's a family business, yeah.
Yeah.
17-year-old. I'm now 33. So yeah, I've done some time. But yeah, so started my railway journey, site access cabin on a weekend. I think £12 an hour, which was fantastic. And then went on to looking at engineering specifically. Continued my journey with specialist engineering services on the craft. Went into Babcock's at the time for plain line engineer. Worked my way up as an engineer. Really, really enjoyed it. Saw it as kind of like a stable career path. Went into Network Rail through high output.
Yeah.
Lead engineer on the ballast cleaner, which were probably my favourite time on the railway. Actually, obviously working on the coal face, high output. It's obviously been retired now. It's going to be missed. But I guess the birth of the Railway Shop, and I guess chapter one of the story, the creation of it, was down to probably like any good stories, a gap in the market that I absolutely saw. I was ordering products within as an engineer, and when we were talking to the existing suppliers, there just wasn't a respect for the product. I felt like I was speaking to just purely salesmen, saleswomen,
Right.
chasing the sales, and somewhat a little bit not disrespectful, but I wanted to speak to someone that I didn't have to explain what this thing was and its purpose was every single time.
Yeah.
So I guess the product that first gave birth to the Railway Shop was the geometry plate. An engineering specific product, depicts the geometry of the track, and I guess we was ordering these in an abundance, and the one time that we did order them, frustratingly, the cell formula was engraved on the plate rather than a radius or a transition length that you'd normally see on it.
Yeah.
And I guess that was kind of like the switch that flipped. And I started to see that the niche in the market was offering these fantastic products, but also actually knowing what they were and the purpose was. And that's what gave birth to the company. So, I mean, I ended up deciding, do you know what, I'm going to make these geometry plates myself. So I bought a machine, a Costa machine. We got a small commercial unit, pretty run down. But it was, you've got to start somewhere. And I was doing my 9 to 5 job. On an evening, I was going home to my partner. I was having my dinner, and then I was going and sitting in this cold unit. Um, and I was sat there till the early hours of the morning, on my own, just music on, headphones on, just manufacturing these plates, getting them packaged, and then getting them ready and then sending them off. And I'd ask my partner, could you send these off? And that's where they're going, etc. And yeah, sometimes she spent weekends with me making them, but I could really see that I was building something. So then off the back of that, we started to open up, and I thought, like, we can offer more than just these geometry plates. So we started offering up other engineering specific products like datum plates and things like that. And it was kind of, it was a hobby. I was contracting into the railway industry. At the same time, I was kind of doing this in my free time. There was a lot of questioning myself as to, has this got legs? I spoke to family, and they all said, um, well, I guess you lasted longer than I thought. I started to
That's
think about,
reassuring.
yeah, started to think about what can we do more. So started to listen to the customers. What do they want? And just grew it. And then, funnily enough, I think it were around about 2018, 2019. My best friend from school, Matt, who's one of the directors with me now, he was working at the Nestle factory in York,
Okay.
and he said to me, Byron, I'm not enjoying my job. Can I pick up some extra hours with you? And at this point, I had no ambitions of employing anyone. Didn't know anything about that. And I just said, yeah, sure, let's do it. But then what that unlocked was the ability to have a little bit more freedom into what I did. I didn't have to do the day to days. I didn't have to go there on an evening. I had somebody during the day that was plugging away. I mean, he got my policies and procedures in shape. We got all the our risks looked a hell of a lot more tidier. And we started to really treat it as a proper business. But at the same time, it was great because I had my best friend that was working with me. Um, and then I was still contracting. We were growing the business. We were adding more and more products. And then COVID happened. COVID, wow. Still can't believe it happened, really. Crazy times. And I guess, obviously, COVID was a terrible time in that, but in a way, I'm kind of grateful for it because it kick-started us into where we are in this current chapter, effectively. So we're finders and doers as the railway shop. That's what we pride ourselves on. And the railway network, as well as everywhere else, were in a real strange period, and people were scrambling to get sanitizer, masks, and it was such a strange time. And it ended up on our plate. We just got requested, said, "Could we need some sanitizer for the weekend, or else these call works are going down," which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And there was going to be like a £200,000 works at the weekend going down because people didn't have any sanitizer. And yeah, it was a strange time. And yeah, so I were having a conversation a few days prior to this, and just strangely enough, a hair salon said, "Oh, we've got an abundance of hand sanitizer. Do you have any customers that?" And I was sort of like, "Thanks." And it was kind of like a family friend. I was like, "Oh," and they was like, "Oh, everyone needs it." And I was sort of like, "All right, yeah, thanks." Sort of like just shunning them off, really. I never expected to get into it. And then next minute, a customer, Byron, here's some sanitizer. The works are going to go down at the weekend unless we get it. So I sort of like, yeah, no, I can get some sort of thing. Yeah. So it kind of spiraled from there. And then I started to have active conversations with people and stuff. And yeah, it was just so strange. And we built off the back of that. And then we was kind of importing from Europe masks and sanitizers in its abundance. And we were kind of, I guess, well, at one point, we was actually propping up the NHS.
Mm.
We were supplying the NHS.
Which is up
Why?
for a railway
Yeah,
shop, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is that when we were speaking to these companies, the normal channels would be like Arco and things like that. They couldn't get it, but we was getting certified masks from like property developers,
Mm.
bakers, and strange things like this. It was such a
Okay.
strange time. But we again finders, doers, and we were working with the NHS, and these masks were coming in, and um, we'd send them to the hospital, the samples, and they'd proof them and say yes, they're genuine, because there was obviously issues with Turkey and that when they got imported them and they weren't fit for purpose. But yeah, so I guess that kicked us on to realizing, and I mean, I was contracting still at this point, and at that point, I just thought like I'm enjoying this. Like
Mm.
COVID, I was stuck at home a few days a week on meetings and things, and I'm thinking like I'm enjoying the thrill of the chase. So I thought, no, this is the time. And spoke to my partner, big risk. But yeah, we did it. Yeah, I did it and made the jump. And then from 2021, I've been working with Matt, my best friend, business partner. Um, yeah, just supplying and growing. Yeah, so now I think we've got around about 2,500 products that we actively sell.
Bro.
We've got X amount on the website, and then the rest comes in as I guess our tagline that we've grown into is a personal shopper to the railway. Yeah, so
Mm.
we're finders, we're doers, and now I think the big thing that we've got that we do really well is the purchasing teams come in, they contact me, they contact any member of the team, because one thing that I've found is really important is you have to have the respect for the railway, and every single person that works for me, I've put them through the PTS so that they've
Mm.
got that respect for the industry,
Of course.
and know what's a clip, what's a pad, what's a nylon, what's rail, and just that general respect for what they're selling and the understanding. So yeah, I love it honestly. Every day just does not feel like work.
Good. How do you feel actually having that railway experience has given you a bit of a differentiator? Because obviously, as you say, there's huge risks setting up as an
Yeah,
SME, huge risks, and obviously, I think COVID kind of kickstarted that for a lot of people because it gave people time to think
yeah,
and adaptations and what have you. But being in that industry for as long as you have, having a family that's been in that
yeah,
industry, you understand the challenges.
yeah.
How has that been a massive differentiator for you?
Um, I think the railway knowledge was the easy part. It was the business part that was really difficult.
Mm.
It was scary. It was scary navigating that. Like business skills, that's something that you're taught in school or anything like that. It's just yeah. There's only so much you can read in a book. There's only so much, but I think it was just a big leap of faith because I believed in myself. I believed in the change that I was making, and I believed in the business and the motto and what the railway shop can do um, for the industry. I mean, navigating as an SME in the rail industry is it's pretty crazy at times.
Mm.
It's not um, widely known how or where to even start. So I'm thankful that I guess my advantage that I had, and I never would have set up this business if I wasn't in the railway industry,
Yeah, of course.
is luckily I'd created a whole network of not just colleagues, of friends across the rail industry. So
Mm.
when I was first starting out, it wasn't a case of me ringing up people and asking for an opportunity. It was me ringing up and having a catch up with an old friend,
Mm.
understanding what they're struggling with from a procurement point of view,
Yes.
and just solving it, and solving it through quality, solving it through price, solving it through lead time. Because again, the railway industry, like it's not alone, but the railway industry's the train's always late. Like they always, everybody wants everything yesterday, and that's something that we're so dynamic. We're small enough to have that nurturing, but we're also big enough to deliver.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. Like some of the things that we do, we bend over backwards for customers. We'll deliver on weekends. You
Mm.
don't get that anywhere else. Delivering on weekends is massive. Like we'll, I mean, we're a 6 team strong business, but as I guess as the figurehead of the managing director of the business, I've got no problem jumping in a van, jumping in my car, and driving and meeting a customer and delivering that product, because regardless if it's their first purchase or their 101st purchase, I'll treat them exactly the same.
Yeah, nah, that's the key. I think it's always that personable touch. The
Yeah,
railway industry as a whole is like a family, isn't it? So
100%.
if we're all putting the effort in, and obviously you can see the dividends are paying off with this period of growth that you're having now.
Yeah,
So going on to that, I think the strength, and obviously you've given me a tour of the railway shop before we met and obviously discussed today. But actually looking at the levels of innovation that you're providing as well, from an SME point of view, and especially something like this, you could quite easily slip into just delivering what's needed for the industry. But there are levels of innovation that you're looking at, isn't there, that actually might make the railways a bit safer, a bit better, more efficient. Tell me a bit more about that.
yeah, sure, yeah. So 100%. So I mean, we're changing with the tide. So we are the personal shoppers to the railway, and we deliver that day in, day out. But what I quickly realised is that there's a massive scope for innovation and introducing that into the industry. So um, I know we touched on it before, but obviously I've got a little black book of inventions.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this since I was a child. I used to struggle with sleep, and it was a way of coping in which my mum um, gave me this little notepad, and she said, if you're waking up and you're struggling to go back to sleep, just write whatever's in your head on the book. And it were effectively a coping mechanism. Um, and it just snowballed. And this black book, it's probably one of my most cherished possessions other than my kids. But yeah, it were full of it, and as a kid, it was like strange inventions and stuff. And then as I got into the railway, it was ways and products that could absolutely change the industry.
Mm.
So I started to look at innovation because I started to have that freedom. We've got a sales team that focuses on the business coming in and talking to the people and account managing. But what products can be introduced to change? So I originally looked at products out there that are very niche, but aren't known. Like people just didn't know about them. So it kind of started with a product called the Data Clip. So the Data Clip is the name's what it says. So it's a detonator retaining clip. Simple product. The lead arms on a detonator, everybody knows on the railway, are pretty ineffective. Damage stop after one or two uses. So this detonator clip, it's a housing for the clip for the detonator. Clips on, clips off, clips on as many times. The detonator should have 5 years. And don't think many of them get 5 years after
No.
good use, but this is ensuring that those products get 5 years. So we've introduced that, and that's been welcomed with open arms. It's a really, really good product. We then moved on to the big one, which is I love this product. So that's the rail light. So the rail light is an industry game changer. So how I stumbled across the rail light was, I guess I was on LinkedIn. I was looking at the European Rail Awards, and I saw this product. And first of all, the rail light caught my attention. I thought, well, what's that? I've got no background in lighting, but
Mm.
I obviously sell products well. Um, and I looked into it, and it actually, of that year, it got the Audience's Choice Award. So, as a big football fan, I see that as I guess, a player's player
Mm.
award, which is they've listened. These are railway people that are in that audience that have
Yeah, of
said
course.
this product is big. This is exciting.
Yeah.
So effectively, to describe the rail light, it's a 2 meter um, light which actually fits into the web of the rail.
Right.
No one would ever think or dream of putting a light in the web of the rail. But what it does is, as a link lighting system, it's completely plug and play. Don't have to be a specialist electrician, other than obviously connecting to it mains,
Of
etc.
course. Yeah.
But it's completely plug and play,
Mm.
which is yeah, it's industry
Time saving, I
shaking.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
massively. So brackets are just installed, and then you just clip in the rail lights, and you can have a span of up to about 98 meters off of one single power source, which is really impressive. Trains can run while they're in situ. So at the moment, we've got the approval for sidings, and that's, I guess, where the product was born. We've got our first install in April of this year with the CRSA, which I'm really, really looking forward to seeing.
Real.
That's at Hill House, not Hill House. That's at Healy Mills.
Right.
So that's the rail light's something that we've been working on for about 3.5 years. It's been a really, really long slog, and that's just navigating interest, navigating the network rail, navigating product approval, understanding the length and depth of what's required for that.
That's a struggle.
And yes, and it's finally coming to fruition. So yeah, the rail light's got its first UK site. And then we've got there's like a rail light Mark II that's soon to kind of details to be emerged. So that's really, really exciting. So that's the real innovative piece. Other than other aspects where customers will say, look, I've got this idea, can you, rather than a customer coming to me and saying, I've got this really good idea, can you make it for me? I guess given my background, I'll sit down with them and I'll say, well, yeah, that's fantastic. Have you thought about this, this, and this, though? And at that point, I don't want to put a dampener on their ideas and the dreams of this product and stuff, but I want to bring them back down because you could quite easily get carried away with the glitz and the glamour. But from there, it's really good structured conversations, detailing. Yeah, that's a great idea, but what about this? Or you could change it into this, and then you can see the light bulb moment in their eyes as well. So we started to kind of go down a bit of a lighting route within the business at the moment, off the back of the rail light, around in and around sidings. So we're kind of in development of a points lighting system as well, which is really, really good, and we're going to be releasing details of that on LinkedIn and the social media in the coming months. And yeah, so again, innovation. That's something that it has to happen.
Of course.
The rail industry is very old-fashioned.
Yes.
Not so accepting of new and novel ideas. So no, it's really, really important, and inventions and new concepts and stuff. That's what really excites me.
How do you bypass? Well, I wouldn't say bypass because obviously we've got to go through a product approval process for a reason. But how do you circumnavigate that? Because some of these products can take years to come onto the railway, and obviously as an SME, you don't essentially have years, do you?
No.
So how do you look at that from a safety point of view? Prove the concept and get it in front of customers that way.
It's no way a simple task, but nor should it be a simple task. No. Obviously, given the safety critical environment of the railway, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, the most important thing is the sponsor, the network rail sponsor.
Of course.
Them believing that your product is worth their time, because the people, obviously incredibly busy people doing great things. But yeah, the product's acceptance is very difficult. Obviously, there's a central team in Milton Keynes, and they're great at what they do. And they ask loads of real probing questions. So, I mean, the rail light's accepted for sidings. It's accepted in wider Europe on main lines.
Yeah.
It's been tested up to, I think, around about 60 miles an hour. But again, you can't just say, look, it's been accepted in Europe. Let's put it on the
fine here.
No. So obviously the UK is seen as the most rigorous of testing and these parameters and stuff. But I've got to say that product acceptance is incredibly scary, daunting, and can put a lot of people's dreams and aspirations to death effectively. It's just it's a bit of a minefield. I mean, we was lucky enough to be invited to the Network Rail village for Rail Live last year, showcasing the rail light. That was fantastic. And within the Network Rail village, they had active leaflets and telling people, look, these are kind of the steps and stuff like that. So it's not a case that Network Rail don't don't want you to bring those products to them. It's just there's a big lack of engagement. I think a lot of the big companies, when I've spoke to them and asked for their advice, like how do you get this track trolley across the line and things like that, and these really important safety critical products and things, and they kind of say to me, look, Byron, we've had to throw a lot of money at this.
Yeah, yeah.
They've had to get third party expertise to try and help them navigate it. And there's a fast track, and then there's the people that sadly just don't have that capital to invest, and that's the long slog. But I think one of the biggest risks that I've seen to the product acceptance process is losing momentum with a product. There's a lot of walls that appear. Um, for like obviously say I'm always excited about this product because I can see where it goes. But I mean, in my past life, if as from a putting a network rail hat on, effectively, if I was to sponsor a product and champion it and go through these stages, it could take years. I could start to transition out that position. I could transition outside of the industry, and it just can lose momentum so easily because of
Absolutely.
you send this information off and it comes back, and you've got to back it up with testing data and things like this. And yeah, it can become really disheartening, and again, that's the biggest risk I'd say to a lot of things is just losing momentum. Yeah.
But you've kept the momentum. Obviously,
Trying.
Rowlet's going out, and
Yes, yeah, really, really exciting. Yeah, it's looking forward to 2025.
good, good. And what does the future look like from a railway shop perspective?
Um, we it's just we're in the current chapter that we're in. I guess it's a chapter of growth,
Good.
really growth. Like we're starting to be more of a household name within the rail industry. We're becoming more recognisable. We're growing our backroom staff. We're taking on um, business development specialists. We're bringing on a sales team, more and more and growing. But um, the big thing that we're doing is we've just got our ear to the ground. We're listening to what the industry wants,
Yeah.
and we're delivering. We're not. I'm not trying to ram something down someone's throat that they don't know they need, but I'm going to convince them that they need it. It's listening to what's happening within the industry, and out coming in. Obviously, I can't say really coming into CP7, but CP7, the big thing it introduces is another product that we've been banging the drum on for about three years now. Around about the like side by side to the Railite is a product that we call Timberless. So CP7's screaming sustainability, which is absolutely right. There needs to be sustainability, and now sustainability goes hand in hand with innovation. And coming into CP7, our focus is not only the Railite and other products that can accompany that, and strive in the way of the different way of thinking, looking outside of the norm, looking at things that just because it's not been done doesn't mean it can't be done. Everything's impossible until it's been done. So with sustainability, that brings in our second big headline of products, and that's Timberless. So Timberless is a product which is made of 100% recycled plastic.
Okay.
So plastic that would otherwise be destined for landfill, such as bottle tops, strawberry cartons, and all those really good things that everybody puts in their recycling bins every other week or every week. Where does it go? Like, what's it turned into? Is it turned into anything? Is it?
Yeah.
But the devastating fact is that so much of this goes to landfill, and that's not doing anything for sustainability nor our country as a whole. So we've partnered with probably the biggest recycled plastic manufacturer in a company called Hahn, who are based in Manchester. So the product in its entirety is we've got access to probably around about 4,000 different products. So the whole purpose of this is with this recycled plastic product, it's plastic that's taken from landfill, it's washed, it's chipped down, it's melted, and then it's formed into different profiles, which you kind of see in your basic builder's yard, 2x2, 4x4s, and sort of like them types of obviously profiles and stuff. But the whole purpose of this and what we're looking to do as a business under the Railway Shop banner is introduce this to the railway industry as an alternative to wood.
Mm.
There's no need for wood anymore. Wooden sleepers are going,
Yep.
so they're being replaced with polymer sleepers and the
Mm.
likes of this. So with that, it's starting to get traction, and with our products, we can replace wood, wooden fencing, any aspect of wood that's currently made of wood shouldn't be wood. It could be 100% recycled plastic, eliminating steel as well. Steel fencing could be completely replaced with 100% recycled plastic products.
Right.
Steel walkways, steel fencing. Um, the structural properties within the timberless is absolutely mind blowing. It's
Mm.
so strong. I mean, you've held some in your hands today, haven't you, Dan?
I
And
have, yeah.
the product's absolutely solid. It's
And
amazing.
lightweight as well,
Lightweight as
which
well.
is, yeah.
Manual handling, yeah, fantastic. It's ticking all these boxes. It
Yeah.
just makes sense. Concrete again, terrible for the environment.
Mm.
Swap it out. Let's make a change. But the big thing that I guess the industry's got to start accepting, and it is starting to accept, is the reduction in like products like GRP. GRP, fantastic product again, lightweight, really strong, really versatile. But it's glass. I can't remember what it stands for. But the GRP is it's got fiberglass in it,
Mm.
resin. You
Which is
can't.
good stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, great structurally, but the stuff is imported in mass from China.
Mm.
Again, not helping the environment, especially not in the UK. And after that product, after it's fulfilled its life, that's going to end up in landfill again. There's nowhere else for it. It can't be chipped down. It can't be recycled. Where the timberless product is, it's a full it's a full circular product. Like we've been starting to sell it into the TRUs, one of probably the early adopters of it.
Yeah.
So the use cases of it is again, handrails, fencing, walkways, drivers access walkways, fantastic.
Bro.
Another really good thing. King post retaining walls, again, all
Yeah.
these fantastic things. But the real thing that gets me excited about Timberless and the possibilities of what it can become and what it will become, because I believe so strongly in it, is that um, it, going back to obviously the circularness of it, is that this product is UK waste.
Mm.
It's UK waste that would otherwise go to landfill.
Yeah.
It's UK waste which is repurposed into a UK product manufactured here in the UK.
Mm.
It's then introduced into a UK industry, and if there is surplus of this product, it can go back into a recycling bin. It could be
Mm.
recycled, and even I'd go as far as saying that that same product that is an offcut of a fence post could be repurposed, and it could be exactly the same product in the space of a month. Um, so yeah, it just absolutely makes sense. But the problem is the acceptance of it. There's stigma around it. Cost comes into it. If you look at it on a graph, it's more expensive than wood.
Mm.
It's not as readily available as wood. There's a bit more manufacturing involved with it. But after year 5,
Longer term
longer
benefits.
term,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. The longer term benefits of the product is massive. So year 5, it's basically the same price as wood,
Mm.
because wood you're replacing, it's rotting. Timberless is antifungal, anti-rot. It could be submerged in water permanently.
Right.
It could be set on fire. It could be submerged in oil. They've put it through all these tests. It's like acid resistance. It's crazy. But
Mm.
the thing is everybody talks about plastic and microplastics and how dangerous they are to the environment. But what's been happening here is it's being captured and repurposed in
And using it in the right way.
exactly that. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, no, that really gets me excited. So we're going through some stages of kind of creating some different profiles for it that are rail specific, and then hopefully we'll start to navigate the product's acceptance and see if we can get it introduced into the railway. Yeah,
Huge good luck with that one. But
yeah,
no, when I've been writing tenders for the last however many years now, one of the things that is increasingly important is from a supply chain point of view that actually materials, let alone labour, is actually procured locally
Yeah.
from a local perspective. And that's something, obviously, when you talk about working with a company in Manchester to deliver something like that, you can, beyond doubt, prove the life cycle of a product and demonstrate that is actually locally resourced. How important is that for companies like yourselves going forward that actually you can demonstrate beyond doubt
Yeah,
growing locally?
I think it's more to do with the core principles of the business. Like we've got access to trough root, 100% recycled plastic trough root.
Mm,
There's existing trough roots in the industry and stuff like that, but it's imported from Japan. Great product. I'm not taking anything away from it, and
yeah,
it's making a real big impact in the industry. But again, it's the core values is it's what's it benefiting the UK economy.
of
So
course.
that's something that I do pride myself at. Any manufacturing and stuff, we don't reach out to China. Look at
Mm,
we don't address our profit margins. We look at the product and the impact in its first instance. So
yeah,
I'm really proud. I'm obviously proud to be British,
mm,
and I would think that manufacturing here in the UK is somewhat that's just become less and less. And yeah, it'd be nice to see the re-emergence of it. So if I can play a very very small part in helping the UK manufacturing industry to kind of grow again, then yeah, I'm absolutely going to do it. But again, like what you said, Dan, um, in terms of products, we're up against obviously price. Like
of course.
what are people going to do? Um, are they going to choose price over a product that's imported from China, or are they going to pay that little bit more and I guess look after
Quality, support the local economy, all
exactly
that
that?
kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think I do envisage that there's going to be kind of like a plastics race. I
Mm,
think there's going to be a lot of introduction of this product into the rail industry, and I think it'll be great. And I think it'll be driven by price in the first instance, and then I think what will happen in the back of everything is I think people will start to be thinking about uh,
longer term.
longer term.
Yeah, of
Yes, we're being more sustainable. What is the level of sustainability of this product? And
course.
it's being brought in on big boats from China, or is it being used and benefiting the economy directly here in the UK? Yeah.
Yeah, too right. So if anyone wants to find out more and, obviously look at what you have available, opportunities to work with you a bit more, where do they go?
So we've got a website, therailwayshop.co.uk. Can search us. Hopefully, with people that are looking for products have already found us. We're usually a top hit on Google, so I like
It's
to
all right
see.
then, that's
Yeah,
working.
we've got all the social media channels. We're pretty heavy on LinkedIn,
Mm,
and yeah, I mean the main thing is everybody's so actively involved with this business that um, if anybody was to pick up the phone to me, if anybody was to email me, I don't just fob them off to the sales at the railway shop
of
address for the
course.
for the sales team. I'm always happy to pick up the phone. I'm always happy to answer
Mm,
emails. Like, so yeah, we are a true railway family business. All We're all a railway family. We're all railway people and delivering railway products.
Byron, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Byron, for giving an insight into your business and from an SME and entrepreneurial point of view. It's a hell of a journey. Thought it was absolutely insightful about the fact that COVID kind of forced him to reevaluate how how companies like this can provide to the railways, and actually his levels of entrepreneurship, innovation, and sheer drive has helped him get to where he is today. And it's really nice to see that someone who has come from a railway background and truly understands the challenges that everyone faces is developing products and providing products that actually actively make a difference on the railway. So really excited to see that journey as he goes along. Any new innovations that he'll be bringing out in years to come, and we'll follow that journey as we go along. So thank you very much, Byron, for sharing your views, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Rail Industry Connected. You can find past and previous episodes of Rail Industry Connected on YouTube, or listen to them on your way into work on Spotify. And of course, you can find out anything else on railindustryconnect.co.uk. Thank you, and see you next time.